Hello and welcome to Nevermore 3.14. Um, this is your host, Jonathan J. Gagan, and I will be lecturing on the different aspects of literature that I learned and how it's important to me, using examples and potentially diagrams and things like that. So, one of the big things I want to start with is when you write a story, one of the big things in creative writing is the title. And so the title has certain aspects to it. There are certain methods that someone as simple as a kindergartner can come up with to write their title. And it's very interesting to see how different people use different problem-solving methods to come up with a title when they are writing. And one of the big things I say about writers is writers write. It's what you do that matters. It's not what you think or what you say, unless you're doing an audiobook, which I tend to do improv audiobooks, which is experimental literature. And experimental literature is anything that isn't already established literature, but is still literature. The really good book for adults is The House of Leaves. That actually, I never read the whole thing, but it's an interesting book on experimental literature. It's not for children, but the title is the main thing that is your attention grabber. It's what's on the cover. It's what begins on the first page above wherever you're going to drop the title. But one of the things I like to do when I write a title is to use attention-grabbing words. So words that are sensory is a really big way to create a good title, just like it is with word images. So like words that are attention grabbing might use color. So blue, red, green, yellow, chartreuse, champagne, different things like that. Those are all different shades of colors, crayons, whatever. Another way is to use attention grabbing words is you can use something that has a double meaning as the title. One way that I like to do it is I like to use a title where if you take out the comma or you take out some of the grammar, it can have a double meaning because people tend to read certain things with a sense of grammar, but at the same time, they understand that grammar isn't there, so it can confuse our minds and create a paradox. Oxymorons make beautiful titles, actually. Sometimes I'll use a quote that I've heard and cite that quote, and that will be what I use to title the literature that I write. And so one of the ways that you can kind of brainstorm a title for your story is you can write everything down, write the whole story, and then summarize it in that title. And then the title can be a lead-in to the conclusion. And so when you are writing the title, you can always use that as a prompt or what you are going to extract the story from. So that's when you write the title before you write the story. But titles, you really want them to have a deeper meaning to people. And if you use a word image, so like for instance, using search engine optimization terms, using buzzwords, anything that really, really catches people. And that's also, these are also important when you write a hook in a song or a story or a poem. Good example of a hook, good example. Sorry, I don't know. A good example of a hook that you can use is if you read Eminem's song 8 Mile. He uses a hook in that. It's just, that's all that it is it grabs you and it brings you into the story and it suspends your disbelief of the situation. You want to be able to get the reader or your audience that you identify to picture what exactly they're getting into, what world they're getting into. And so a good way that I've noticed that people tend to do that when they're talking about nostalgia and stuff is they will, when they want to grab someone's attention, they'll do things like describe a specific type of car, like a blue 1943 Chevrolet or whatever. I don't know if that's a car. I'm terrible with cars, but another example might be a red bicycle. Like you can watch film and usually get ideas from there. And film is usually written by screenwriters who have to do a lot of writing very quickly and on demand. And it's a very hard job, and it's really hard to get into that field. Helps, I would assume, if you know someone. But if you remember Stranger Things, there is a red bicycle that they ride, and that's one of those things that carries a sense of nostalgia to it. That's a word image. It's a way that you use color to bring people into the story. So one of the exercises you can do for homework is you can try to describe